I have a daughter who's 24 years old and has special needs. And I got involved in cause marketing because I had set up a Facebook page for other parents that had children with special needs to help them with individual disability education questions. And after doing that, when I first set it up, we had myself and two other parents in a group in Facebook. We now have nearly 3,000. We're going to reach 2,000 parents in the group this week. And every day, 60, 70 parents share questions and answers with each other. A few years ago, I got involved with another foundation called the Cleft Lip and Palate Foundation of Smiles. And I was discussing with the CEO of the Cleft Lip and Palate Foundation of Smiles how they might be able to create a sustainable revenue stream. So we began to look at how we could use social marketing as a way of building a relationship with parents and using that relationship as a way of helping the foundation raise money. I'm an attorney, and about a year ago, in May, I was in Austin, Texas, and I met David Eppard. And David was introduced to me by another attorney, and we got to talking about what we did, and of course, David took out his cell phone and showed me a SavvyCard, and I immediately was mesmerized. I thought, this is a really cool technology, what a neat way of creating a directory and sharing information. And I got involved with the company a little bit, and about a year later, decided that I wanted to start a business using SavvyCard as the technology for building a directory so that parents could find the resources they were looking for when they had a situation that, their child had a special need, or they were looking for resources related to the cause that they were involved with. One of the groups we got involved with was a Cleft Lip and Palate Foundation in Wyoming, Michigan. And if you can imagine being in the place of a parent who's got a child with a cleft lip and palate, let's pretend you're 7 months pregnant and you've just gone to the obstetrician and they say, I have some tough news for you. You're going to have a child that's going to have a cleft lip and palate. That's what we see on the ultrasound. As the parent, you're immediately thinking, what does that mean? What am I going to do? Can it be fixed? Does it need to be fixed? Is this always going to be a problem? How long is it going to take? So you have all these questions. And typically a parent's going to go to the internet and start doing research. And what they're going to find is a sea of information. There is so much, tons of resources. What we saw SavvyCard doing was helping place an intermediary between the parent who has these questions and the information. That as a parent of a child with special needs, the solutions we always got, the best solutions, weren't because we figured something out on our own, but we found a person who was 1, 2, 5, 10 years ahead of us. And they said, here's what you're going to have to find. Here's a good resource. Sometimes they were telling us what the question was that we needed to ask. So before you could even begin to look for the answer, you might need to know what the question was. And this continues to this day. My daughter's 24, and it's just this year that we applied for getting a custodianship for her. Somebody said, have you applied to be Molly's custodian? It hadn't dawned on us that we needed to do that. But if, God forbid, she had some medical issue that required a medical decision to be made, either she could make that decision, which would be like the hospital trying to get her to make an X on a form, or we could have custody and the right to be able to make that decision for her. A lot of people look at the internet and this sort of problem. I met a doctor recently who said, oh, I want to create a directory that'll be full of all these resources that parents can use. I said, that's nice. But as a parent, just having another list of doctors isn't very helpful. I didn't say that to this person, but I said that to myself, like, great, another list of more information. You need a person in between the question and the answer to know that you've reached a trusted, valuable resource. The directory that we're building for the Cleft Lip and Palate Foundation of Smiles is what we call a directory of preferred and referred providers. And every single provider that we're putting in that directory has to be referred to us by one of the parents within the organization. So aside from all the other requirements that we'll have, that they're board certified and other things like that to make sure that they're the appropriate type of doctor, they have to come from a trusted resource. And that's because a parent's going to come into an organization or come into an informational exchange, they're going to ask a question, and they're going to be relying on the information they receive from other people to be the answer. Mm-hmm. So it's not just go do research and find a bunch of names and numbers. It's going to be somebody telling you this is the right decision, and give that parent the confidence to move forward. There's a few places that I see SavvyCard being applied. And well, let me tell you first about my relationship with the company. I'm kind of on every side of this company. I'm an investor in the business. I'm on the board of directors, and I'm a client. We created Cause and Direct because, and decided to use SavvyCard's technology because it provides a unique way of people being able to exchange information in a trusted environment. SavvyCard drives the ability for people to make a transaction, to do something based on that information. So it's relationships that you're relying on, it's contacts, it's context, it's where you're finding the information and how you're finding it. It allows you to then take action based on it. I see all sorts of applications for it. I think there hasn't been any informational situation where people are looking for an answer that I haven't seen SavvyCard being applicable. As you know, it's been used in the real estate market. It's been used in business networks. And so for us, applying it to causes was just a natural extension. One of the things that exists in a cause is the ability to raise money. So if I'm a parent and I'm looking for a doctor, I would use the directory to find a doctor. But if I was a family member of a parent or a friend of a parent and they posted, oh, I'm using this resource, or if I posted a question and somebody posted that resource in response, and I'm on Facebook and oh, what's that post? Oh, that's a cleft lip and palate foundation. Oh, that makes sense. This person's got a child with a cleft lip and palate. I understand why they're, posting that information. And they look at, oh, there's a donate now button. Oh, I think I'll support this group. So it becomes a way that parents can share this information. They could post a card and say, hey, this is a foundation that's being really helpful to us. We found all of our doctors through this foundation. I'd appreciate it if you'd support it. If you click on this card, you'll be able to find a donate now button. So I think it's a way that people that might not be using the directory directly, but have somebody who the directory is benefiting, to be able to donate and support the foundation.